Hello everyone, and welcome to the library webinar on reading and annotating in a paperless format. I'm Cynthia Scott, the Digital Resources Librarian, and I'll be presenting today. As we're all aware, much of our reading is now taking place in a digital space. We all have our strategies for reading in paper formats, and this usually involves highlighting text, taking notes in the margin, or using post-it notes. In addition, there's always the task of organizing our paper materials. We will be looking at various methods for reading in a digital format. I'm going to present 5 applications in our 30-minute time frame. To let you know what you signed up for, I'm going to discuss ebooks, Adobe Acrobat Reader DC, Mendeley, Diigo, and Hypothesis. You may be familiar with some of these applications, and I hope you'll learn something new that you can add to your digital reading strategies. So let's jump in. So let's start with our ebooks. The library has approximately 260,000 ebooks in the collection, and about 70% of these ebooks are from our vendor ProQuest. And you may be familiar with ProQuest through ProQuest Dissertation and Theses. And they provide a great reading interface called eBook Central. So as you scroll the catalog here, you can see in the call number, there's eBook Central. There's quite a few eBook Centrals, and this is that platform that I'm discussing. Also, you'll see Discover eBrary, and that is in the same eBook Central reading interface from ProQuest. So let's look at one of our books. I'm going to get it online. This is Observation Points. Now first, I want to say that the best choice for reading ebooks is to read it online in the online interface, and that's this selection here on the left, Read Online. You can see right under Availability, it says our institution has unlimited access to this book. So that means multiple readers can access the book at the same time, and you can go in and out of this book anytime you want as long as you have access to the internet. Two other methods for reading, primarily I guess when you don't have access to the internet, would be to download either the whole book or chapters to a PDF. So here are the chapters, and you can download these as a PDF, and then you would read that PDF in your browser PDF viewer or in Adobe Reader, whatever you use. And another option for reading, especially when you know you're not going to have access to the internet, is this option right here called Full Download. It's on your left. And that is actually like checking out the book, and that is going to download to your computer, and you will be reading that in an application called Adobe Digital Editions, which you need to load on your computer. Now this is not nearly as nice as the online interface. There's a lot more options in this. So we're going to go to Read Online. So let's look at the screen here. On the left, you have the table of contents. So you can jump to any of these chapters. And at the top, you have the options. This one is, again, that full download, where you're going to download it and read it on Adobe Digital Editions. You're going to check out that book for a number of days. These 3 options, this is downloading a chapter. This is copying some part of the text and pasting it into whatever Word document you use. And this is printing to PDF. And you can do all 3 of these without having to log in. This 5th one is adding this book to your bookshelf, and you will be prompted to log in for that. Here we have sharing a link, getting a citation, and here come 3 options for annotating and highlighting your book. This is highlighting, taking notes, and bookmarking. So let's jump to a chapter, chapter 12, and once you start highlighting, you will be prompted to log in, and that's because eBook Central is going to record all your notes, all your highlights, all your books that you've put to the bookshelf or recently viewed, and it's going to keep them there so you have constant access to them. So we're going to log in, and this is your Benedictine username and password. Okay, so I'm going to start highlighting and I'm going to select that. I'm going to add a note. So up here the note, I'm going to add a note to this page. Um, I'm going to save that. Now that's associated with the page. I can also add a note that's associated within the context of the text. And I can save that. And I can scroll down and I'm going to bookmark this page. You'll see right there, there's the bookmark. So let's go see everything we've read in this book. And you're going to come over to the far left and it's the star that's going to display all your annotations, all your highlighting. This is chapter 2, and here's I highlighted, I took a note, and I created a bookmark. Here's my chapter 12. Again, I made a couple notes, I highlighted in a bookmark. So all that is saved for you and visible by clicking on this star. Now if we go to our bookshelf, and I am currently signed in, so I can just jump into the bookshelf. I'm going to click on Recently Viewed. These are all the books that I've been perusing. So when you're in our catalog and you're looking at books, it's a good way to organize what you're looking at or going to even read later by putting them in your bookshelf. Now I've created a National Parks folder simply by clicking on New Folder and putting in my entry. And if I click on National Parks, here is my book. I have 32 annotations. When I click on that, I jump right back into the book. Okay, so this is a good, very good interface, eBook Central. We have another large collection of ebooks from Springer. Now these ebooks are only readable in a PDF format, so I'm going to scroll down and find my Springer book. And here it is, the call number is Springer. That's a large collection that the library has. I'm going to click on Get It Online. And you can see here below the title, right here, that you can download the book. So you're going to, when you click on that, you're reading it in your browser PDF viewer. And there's not too much you can do in this very simple PDF viewer. You can click in the upper right and jump to various chapters. Another option, I'm back in the Springer book, is to scroll down, and if I know I want a particular chapter, I can just download that chapter. So I am actually going to download this to my computer. And we're going to read that in Adobe Acrobat Reader, which is our next application. So I'm going to go to my download folder and open up my Springer book, and I open it up with Adobe Acrobat Reader. And I specifically wanted to include Adobe Acrobat Reader DC. The DC stands for Document Cloud, and this is the latest free version of Adobe Reader. You know, nowadays PDFs automatically open in your browser PDF viewer, but as we saw with the Springer book, there's not too many features that are offered in that type of reading, and Adobe Reader has many more features. These features generally are for pay, so I'm going to just eliminate that, bring this back. You can see here you can upload it to the cloud. So that would be a way of synchronizing between your file folders on your desktop and the web. And in fact, in the cloud version, you can also create folders. So it's a good way to organize your reading. And again, as with many of the readers, I can highlight. And in this case, I can add a note and I can just drag it to wherever I want. So I drag it down there. And again, this is a good way to organize your reading, and it's a free version of Adobe. So my next application is going on to Mendeley. So Mendeley was created in 2008 to organize citations and create bibliographies. It was then purchased by Elsevier in 2013. Mendeley is available as a free desktop download and as an online web version. So this would be the web version that I would sign into. You can also download Mendeley on multiple computers and keep them synced across installations so that you can have access at home or in the office. And your data can also be synced then between these desktop versions and the web cloud. The free version provides users with 2 gigabytes of storage, and users have various options to purchase more storage capacity. So I would like to warn people that there are multiple ways to add citations and PDFs to Mendeley, depending on what database you are using to obtain your research articles. So there's Ovid and EBSCO and ScienceDirect and Scopus and PubMed and Web of Science, and all of these have slight nuances in how you would load your citations. But Mendeley is really powerful and a great organizational tool. You just need to be a little nimble and patient as you become accustomed to your various databases. So I'm going to demonstrate from my Mendeley desktop. So here are all my documents, and you can see I have added PDFs to all of them. On the far right is my citations, and I've added a folder for national parks. So I'm going to open that up, and I would be reading it in the Mendeley PDF viewer, which is nice. Up at the top in the banner, there's you can select text, you can create a note, you can highlight, and you can choose your highlighting colors. So I'm going to highlight, and here comes a pop-up, so I'm highlighting. I can also say I'm going to copy. So I'm going to select copy, and then I'm going to select note, and I'm going to paste some of that text into my note. So here it is. And depending on how you organize, when you can click over here on the notes and you'll see all your notes. And depending on how you like to organize your notes when you're writing, you can actually export the PDF with your annotations. So you can export the whole PDF with your highlights and the notes, or you can just select the notes. And in this case, that's text that I have written or things that I've copied and pasted into the note. So that would just depend on your own personal preference for viewing your notes. So let me demonstrate how to capture the citation and the PDF in Mendeley. So I'm going to capture an article from Sage. It'll be telenursing. And this one's open, so I'm going to click on that. And this is, I want this article and I want it to populate it in Mendeley. The first thing I'm going to do is click on Cite. And I do want it in the RIS format. That's going to upload into Mendeley and give me a correct citation. So I'm going to click on Download Citation. Okay, so let me close out of that. And then I also want to download the PDF. And this is again my browser PDF viewer, which doesn't offer me too much. So I'm going to download it. Okay, so let's go into Mendeley. So here I can go to Add Files, and I'm going to select my Sage RIS format. That's going to bring in my citations. So here's my citation on the right. And you could also bring in the RIS format or any files in a drag and drop method. So I could have created a split screen and just drug the RIS file over from my download into Mendeley. Now I'm going to add the PDF file. So I've scrolled down from the citation. I'm in the files. I'm going to click on Add File, and now I'm going to grab the PDF. And it takes just a little bit of time to populate, but then I'll be able to read and annotate in Mendeley. So here I am, and I'm going to start doing my highlighting. Okay. Now my next application is going to be Diigo. So let's go into Diigo. Diigo was launched in 2006, so it's been around for quite a while and is very popular. In October 2016, Diigo launched a new design and Chrome or Firefox browser extensions and applied a new renewed focus on annotations. They offer a free version so you can create bookmarks and notes and highlights, do PDF annotation, screenshot images. You know, it's quite a long list of what you can do. In the free version, you're a little bit limited. I applied for an educator version, and now you start getting more unlimited access and a higher number of highlighting and annotating abilities. And then you could also opt for a $5 a month plan or more. So let's look at Diigo a little bit. Let me sign in. And let me also bring up my Diigo extension, which I have previously downloaded. So it's More Tools, Extensions, and I'm going to click on Enable. And you can see that here is the Diigo extension, which I'll demonstrate later. So this is what Diigo looks like. It is a list of articles, PDFs, and websites that I have read and annotated. The colors here are the highlights that I've done in both cases. You can see 2 and 2, so that's my highlighting. The gray, or the very light color, is note taking that I've done, so text that I have typed in as notes. So you can see again there's PDFs and there's also websites that I'm gathering information from. Now there's two options basically for organizing your materials, and they're called tags and outlines. I can add tags to my articles and web pages, and this allows me to filter and view only those notes. So it's simply, you can see on snowmelt runoff, I have 2 tags right now, climate change, snowmelt, and I can just click on edit tag, and I'm going to type in, I'm going to put it in quotes so that they are not separate tags. I'm going to put in global warming as another tag. So I want to start faceting this, so I'm only looking at, let's say, library instruction is a tag. And so here's 2 articles that I've highlighted in red. And also I have video instruction. I have 2 articles here as well. So that's one way to organize. Another way is to use what Diigo calls my outliners. So let me click on that. So I've created 2 outlines. One is Chronicle of Higher Ed, Research Paper Materials, and another one is Short Videos for Instruction. And I view these outliners as either kind of a folder for my reading materials, or you can use them as actual outlines for projects and papers. So let me click on Chronicle of Higher Ed. So here is 2. You can see this is my link. I have 5 annotations on discount rates, 2 annotations on Arizona State. Now I've typed this in, so I can just come down here for higher ed articles. And if I click on add items from my Diigo library, I can just drag them over to my outline. So now I have 3 articles for this outline. I can expand the annotations. So here's everything I've highlighted, and I can convert those annotations into bullet points. So let me go back to my outliner. Let's look at short video for instructions. So again, here I have my articles. I can jump right to the article and start annotating. I can read it and start copying and pasting into my outline. So let me show you how you would read something and use the Diigo extension. So here's Chronicle of Higher Ed, and I'm going to read an article, What's Wrong with Writing Centers. So you can see right now that there's a lot of distraction on the side. There's a lot of some ads and some also more articles. If I go up to the Diigo extension and click on that, and I want to annotate the article, you can see that it's now a much nicer reading format. Everything's gone. It's a very clear format, and I can highlight, so I get the pop-up to highlight that. I can also add a note. And I save that. And when I come up to the far top right, I can expand that, and I can look at my notes for that article. Okay, if I go back to Diigo, and let's go back to my library. Now it's already synced. I was logged in, so it's already synced what's wrong with the writing centers. So it's a real kind of a seamless way to either annotate your PDFs or websites, organize them in a manner that's good for you, either the tags or the my outliners, and it seems pretty seamless. It's really nice. So let's go on to my final application, and that's Hypothesis. Hypothesis is, they call themselves a new effort to implement an old idea, which is adding open annotation layers over the web. It's basically considered an old idea because Biomed Central launched in 2002 with the capability for online comments, and in 2008 PLOS announced commenting, and then finally in 2013 PubMed Central also allowed commenting from authors that have papers indexed in PubMed. So there is interest and just kind of a growing mission to try and get commenting on web and in scholarly articles. Hypothesis also has an extension that is useful to you. So I'm going to More Tools, Extensions. So let's disable Diigo, and we're going to enable Hypothesis. And let me log into Hypothesis and show you what that looks like. So Hypothesis looks a little bit similar to Diigo in that you have a list of articles and websites that you've read and annotated. So I can click on this and open up. So this is what I highlighted in this article from Scholarly Kitchen. I can view the annotation in the website itself. So if I click on that, so here I am. Here's my article, and here's what I in fact highlighted. And I can do some more highlighting, and you can see you have a pop-up. So here's my highlight, and I can again add a note. And you can see up here, here's everything. I had 2 annotations on this page. This was highlighting, This was my note. And if I go back to hypothesis, so hypothesis, they claim that you can annotate in both a PDF and as well as a website. I have had somewhat spotty success with annotating in a PDF. I mean, you can see I was able to do that here because we all read a lot of articles from the web and need to organize them. So that is my 5 applications in 30 minutes, and I hope you have some takeaway